Bullet holes at an apartment complex are the results, one parent says, of one of 3 shootings over the past 10 days at the apartment complex that his son lives in. Knox Ridge sits on Cherokee Trail near UT Medical Center. The complex released a statement today confirming the first shooting happened some 10 days ago on December 29th. The second, January 5th, around midnight, and the third, January 6th. The operations director says 3 residents tied to those shootings have either been evicted or soon will be. Now, one parent says the first shooting on the 29th worries him the most. Neither of the parents we spoke with on camera did want to go on camera, but both were worried about their children's safety. The photos submitted by one father show holes in drywall and then on the outside of a townhome there at Knox Ridge. Travis Bauer says he started working at the complex in October last year. He says he quit this past week, although Knox Ridge says he was fired. Bauer says he wasn't there on Saturday the 29th, but afterward he says he counted 15 bullet holes in the side of 3 different townhomes during his maintenance duties, and many had gone through the wall. He says he understands why parents would be worried for their children's safety.
There was 15, we found 15 rounds in the house that actually had went through siding, through windows, through doors, and into the actual dwelling. And it wasn't just the house where this female was, it was the houses on each side of it as well. So
10 News spoke with one parent who says she is still trying to get her children out of the lease. She says the office wouldn't let them out. Now, Director of Operations Casey Schuler says tenant safety is the most important to them. In fact, in her words, utmost importance to us. They have off-duty law enforcement patrolling that area now. They also have each resident with a they must pass a background check and agree not to bring weapons on the property when they sign a lease. Schuler says if parents or students are concerned, they'll review leases on a case-by-case basis.
We are learning more from the homeowners of